All right, how are we doing? How we doing, guys? This is episode 8 of Cats versus Cards, and I'm your host, William Washington, also known as Willie Dubs. Willie Dubs. You can contact me right there on the bottom of your screen at Twitter, Willie Dubs. All right. So in this episode, we had two bye weeks. Both teams had a bye week on the same week, which is pretty much a disaster when it comes to when you're trying to do a podcast because there's hardly anything to talk about with football. But nevertheless, we're still here. We're going to preview both of the games that are coming up. Kentucky versus number 21 Tennessee. Tennessee's coming into town, and then also we have Duke coming into town for Louisville. Number 20 Duke versus number 18 Louisville. Seems like Louisville's big games is going to be at home. Maybe not. It just is so far. But without further ado, well, let me also say this. And after that, after we get done with that, we will go into some basketball because we actually have some basketball action that happened. Kentucky had their Midnight Madness going on. I know Louisville doesn't have a Midnight Madness, but I think they had a secret scrimmage, a private scrimmage that happened, and then they also had a public one as well. I'm not for sure if they face Bellarmine, but I have a Louisville, one of Louisville's biggest fans is ready to talk about the Louisville basketball team. Think that they'll be very, very much improved over last year now for their 4-win season. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the crew on. First up at the very top, Dietrich. What's going on, D?
What's going on? Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. I feel you on that. All right. Next one after that, y'all see Perry. Perry, hold up. Let me pull Perry out real quick. He's upgraded his whole setup. Look at him. Look at him. He's ready to go. He's deep in the Louisville Red. All right. What's going on, Perry?
CARDS. Cards, cards,
See,
cards.
that right there, we got to take off the screen. We're going to take up the screen. Last but not least, down there, Richard. What's happening, Richard? Look at Richard's background, guys. He's got the cards going on all day long.
L1C4 forever, baby. You know me. L's
L1C4.
up, L's up.
L's down or whatever we want to say, right? All right, like always, guys, like and share. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. You guys that join us every week on YouTube, we appreciate it. We thank you. Keep those chats coming, as you guys seen in the past, that anytime you comment here, you're part of the discussion, and we'll end up discussing what you're talking about, all right? You guys that are on Facebook, we will have a new permanent home. It's just not come about yet because your boy's been busy. Your boy's coaching football, also doing a podcast, has a full-time job, and does some other things else on the side with 3 little ones downstairs. So I stay busy from morning till night, but it's coming, and you'll get it as soon as I can. So without further ado, hey, guys, let's go ahead and I'm not for sure who we discussed last time, but let's go ahead and start with Kentucky. We'll go ahead and preview them. Kentucky has number 21, Tennessee, coming into town. And this one has to be a must-win game for Mark Stoops because he doesn't want to be what it would be 0-3 in the month of October. I don't think that you want to do that at all. Even if you start in 5-2, you don't want to drop the 3 in a row like that. But Mark Stoops, he has a horrible track record of winning the very next game after he's had a bye week. But Dietrich, I'm start with you first. Looks like that we're coming in. Kentucky's coming in as a 3.5 point underdog, according to FanDuel's sportsbook. Tennessee, they're 0-2 in away games this year, so that bodes well for us. Do you think that would matter at all?
I think it does not matter at all. This Tennessee team, obviously, they're not the team from last year. Obviously, there's no
Yeah.
Hooker. There's no. So, however, this team played well against Alabama on
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. And but for a few mistakes, was in the game until the third quarter. Now, they did lose to Florida.
Yep.
But once again, that was one of their road losses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that they have some trips up because based on what I've seen from Kentucky over the last 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like us against Tennessee right now. The only thing that's giving me courage at all is that we have a bye week, and historically, coach is, he's good at getting them ready after the bye week. So we'll see if that works.
First comment from the Reverend Tim Finley. Go Cards, go Hal Mummy. Something's wrong with him. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that it matters much. I don't like the matchup. One thing about it is it depends on what Tennessee team that we'll see. Because you said that they played well against Alabama, and I'm gonna tell you, when I watched that game, when you guys see me in text, I said, I don't feel good about this game. It was like Kentucky can't beat Tennessee, and that was the first half.
No.
Then the second half, I was like, we can beat this Tennessee team. The first Tennessee team we couldn't beat. That second half Tennessee team, we can beat that team. Because I was really watching that game and like trying to see how in the world did Florida beat Tennessee. Tennessee's playing like this, but then in the second half, it really showed up. So
But
Tennessee
we
has
also
to be
gotta,
consistent. Go ahead.
like, we also got to remember Alabama's offense has been struggling this
Yeah.
year. So stifling their offense in the first quarter and much of the first half in that game was not necessarily a surprise. The surprise was that Tennessee was stopping Alabama's offense, and then their offense was pretty much cooking. Now, if they had come away with points instead of 2 field goals and actually got touchdowns, it's a whole different ball game. Even in going into the second half with them stumbling, they would have been up bigger, and I think that would have boded well. Now, I think the last score was a pick six to kind of end it all, or there was an interception at the end. I can't remember, but to kind of put the nail in the coffin. But this team could have beat Alabama. They could have beat Alabama. So what that means to me is that if that defense that played the first half against Alabama, Kentucky's offense, with all the problems people are saying about Alabama, we got that times 10. So we're going to have a hard time scoring on Tennessee. And if our defense does not cover, if our secondary does not cover well, it's going to be a long day.
They will definitely exploit that secondary if we're not ready. So we definitely have to be ready. But here is the interesting part of it, Dietrich. I just pulled it up on ESPN while you were just talking. In every game that they won, their leading rusher had at least 100 yards. Against Virginia, he had 115 yards. It was Wright. Wright against Austin P. 118 yards. Against UTSA, which is University of Texas, San Antonio, I believe, he had 139 yards. Then South Carolina, Wright comes back and has 123 yards. Against Texas A&M, has 136 yards. Again, in both of their losses that they've had, get this, one was at Florida and the other one was at Alabama. And both of their losses, their leading rusher only ran for 63 yards or less. 63 yards is how many that Wright ran for against Florida, and then 59 yards is how many that Milton, not even their running back, this was their quarterback, which was the leading rusher, ran for 59 yards against Alabama. It seems like that the key to beating them this year is not even necessarily the pass; it's the run. And as I go and I look, the games that they won. They had the most rushing yards. The games that they lost, they had the least rushing yards. Florida actually tore them up, being physical at the line of scrimmage and outrushed them like crazy.
They bully balled them, and they ran like crazy. I remember that game.
Yeah. So, but see, you see that against Florida and myself. I watched that game. Neither team looked all that physical to me, so it made me feel good about Kentucky. I didn't look at Florida and say, "Oh, they beat Tennessee. We might not be able to beat them." Neither team looked all that physical to me. But then,
I mean,
say
I do
2
feel
weeks
like
later,
we'll run on them.
Yeah, I think we have to. We have to.
Yeah.
You know, 2 weeks later they play against a A&M team. I'm not going to say a good A&M team, but they played against A&M team, and all of a sudden their running game shows up again. So if our run defense is there, and we can run on them, that's a traditional throwback Mark Stoops team at Kentucky. If we can do that, I think we can come away with the victory.
Well, McLellan, or however you say his name for Alabama, their main running back, he had 115 yards. So I think Davis is going to have a similar day against them. He's going to have a 100-yard day. And I think if for us to win, here's what has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Davis has to have 100, 120 yards, period.
Okay.
Period. He's got to have that. And we have to slow the game down and minimize possessions.
Hey,
Because if
you're right. You're 100% right on that. But while you say that, there's going to be a lot of disgruntled Kentucky fans because Kentucky is last in the nation in plays, in plays ran by the offense. But go ahead.
But what we can't give opportunity for White to go off on us. We can't give an opportunity for Keaton and all those other receivers for Tennessee and then with the quarterback running for Tennessee, Kentucky. I hate to see running quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm still scarred from Louisville when they had this no-name kid come in after their quarterback was hurt and we had a game.
Okay, are we gonna get a chance to talk? We done listen to all the garbage and all the lip now.
Look, I'm leading you in. I'm leading Louisville right in. I'm about ready to mention the greatest quarterback ever. So Lamar Jackson, I think, has scarred Kentucky fans from seeing running quarterbacks.
All right, go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead, Richard. Richard, you because you did have your hand up and you was ready to talk. It looks like that you're looking at something, so you got the floor. Go ahead, man.
Okay. First off, go Cards. Number one, I was gonna agree with the one point that Dietrich said, and is you all need to slow Tennessee down. Y'all need to control the clock. Because what I saw with a lot of Tennessee's games is they are an up-tempo team, and they can pass. They have receivers that can catch the ball. Unfortunately, Kentucky doesn't. They know the run game is what they're going to key in on, and they know that. The two losses they had, you're absolutely right. They could not establish the run and got beat. But the problem is, if Tennessee gets up on y'all are going to have to abandon the run, and Tennessee knows this. So if they get up on y'all, it's going to be a difficult game for y'all because right now you all's quarterback play and receiver play is atrocious. Yep. And you all are going to have to resort to the pass because, although Ray Davis is going to get his 100 if you all are in control of the game, if you all fall behind, you're definitely going to have to resort to your passing game, and Tennessee knows this. And all they got to do is just keep dinking and dunking or throwing, blitzing y'all over the top because after watching the Georgia game, y'all got 8 up. Y'all's defense could not stop the pass. Y'all could stop the run, I give you that. But y'all got lit up, and they're going to expose that. So that's what I was going to say. I agree with you, Dietrich, on that one element that you all have to control the ball and slow it down and keep Tennessee off, reduce the possessions. Because if they get away from y'all lost.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I agree with that.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
Go Card.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, first because Tennessee, they're the ultimate front runner. I mean, you let them have the lead. It's in the offensive coordinator. Any offensive coordinator will tell you too. When you have the lead, you can call the game different. They're the ultimate front runner team. So we got to at least stay within striking distance. I mean, we can't beat them at the high scoring game. They have to come down in scoring. We have to play. It has to be like they played against Texas A&M and pray that we have a chance at the end. 'Cause if they score 30 and 40 points, we might as well just mail it in and get ready for the next week because it's not getting ready happening for us. So, yeah, I 100% agree with you right there. The biggest Louisville fan of them all, do you have anything to add to this, sir?
Just real quick. So the best thing you guys got going for you is it's a home game. If this was not a home game, I'd give you no chance at all. I'm hearing comments like, if we just are physical enough, like Florida was physical, we can get them. I feel like it's Tennessee. You're comparing Alabama beating Tennessee to you guys hopefully beating Tennessee. And Alabama's, even on their worst year, this is not one of their best years. Last year wasn't one of their best years. Even on their worst years, they're like 3 times as better than UK. So I think, you guys have some chances. Like the others are saying, you guys have to do something about your offense. You have to do something about your passing game. But you also have to figure out a way to slow down Tennessee because, like it or not, their quarterback might not be Hooker, who was there last year, but he's actually improving as the year goes on. If you're not like just like Graham Martz, I mean, I was killing him the first part of the year, the Florida quarterback, and now you look up and the dude's throwing for 400 yards. So
Yeah.
they're tailoring the offense, and he's getting more adjusted to the offense. Milton's doing the same thing. So if you see that going on, then you're going to have a long day if you guys don't figure out how to stop them up front. And Tennessee is one of the more physical teams that you'll play in the league. They're not pity pat. Now again, you talked about first half Alabama and second half Alabama, but just remember it's still Alabama any half, and they're still twice as good as probably every team in the league on any day except for Georgia.
Yeah.
So the fact
Well-
that Tennessee was able to keep up with them for a whole half, and then even into the third and fourth quarter, the game, they were still in the game. They didn't get completely obliterated.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this: as far as banking on us doing what Alabama did, I don't think that we can. Like I said, I think that we have to bank on this game being like Texas A&M, like the Texas A&M game. It's a low-scoring game. This is actually Tennessee's lowest-scoring game of the season. And I think that we're going to need that because of how our offense is. Unless our offense suddenly clicks this game, which, you can't really bank on that. But I think that's got to have how it's going to be. It has to be. It has to be a low-scoring game like the Texas A&M game. And we have to be physical, but not like Alabama, because I don't think that that's feasible for Kentucky. It has to be physical, more like Florida was. Something happened in that game, and I said that was their lowest scoring game. Their lowest score was actually against Florida because they scored take that back. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
16 points? It was like 16.
What are you talking about?
Yep. Against Florida was their lowest scoring output. So we actually have to mimic that Florida game. That's exactly what we have to do. 16 points, that's doable. 34 points, nope. It ain't happening. 45 points like they get against UTSA, nope. It's not happening. So that's what it is. Now, ESPN, their matchup prediction has Tennessee having a 70.6% chance of winning this game. So it's almost like Kentucky has no chance. It's less than 30% chance of winning this game. So, yeah, we're still outside the top 25, but we're getting votes.
In that game, Travis Etienne had almost 200 yards. I think he had 175 yards. So, no, it's 172. I just looked it up. 172. 172 yards on one player means they were playing bully ball. Bully ball.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what? And that makes the comment interesting about Mark Stoops, because I don't know what the question was, but I was flipping through Twitter and somebody pulled out an excerpt from Mark Stoops, and Mark Stoops was basically saying we can't go back to running the ball 20 more times a game, which is what we did when Eddie Graham was here, when we couldn't throw the ball. And we were also dead. We were tops in the nation in drops by the wide receivers too. And what we did, we leaned heavily on the running game. But like Stoops says, if we do that, are we really growing the program? Are we really building a program? We're really not. We're finding a mimic. We're finding a not a mimic, but you know what I'm trying to say? It's not something of substance that we can figure out that we can do. And then we hung our hat on that, but we're not really advancing the program at all. So he's not even considering that an option this time. He said we have to pass the ball. We're going to keep calling the plays as if it's, the regular offense. So, yeah.
I'm in favor of doing whatever it takes to win on any given Saturday. And if that means running the ball 40 times like Florida did, if we have 40 rush plays, we need to have 42.
Well, I think
who
was it? Vince Lombardi. We're going to keep doing it until they stop us. That's the way you got to play it. And I understand that, but I got 3 points, and none of these are cyclical. So let's hope y'all can keep up. Number one, first off, go Cards. But first point, I noticed, riding around, going back and forth to work and running my errands, listening to a lot of radio, a lot of sports radio, and what I'm hearing from UK fan base is a lot of you guys are believing that you're going to lose this game, to the point where a lot of UK fans are already, hey man, I'm interested in basketball. We're, let's talk about Midnight Madness. Let's talk about, basketball. Y'all already in basketball season, and they were talking about how this is this depressing because you all are at 5-2, which is something that's, you all are in a unique territory now. You have a winning football product, but now after you've seen these last two games, you guys have already started talking about, well, let's talk about basketball season. And I think we had mentioned this earlier in one of the previous podcasts, where UK fans were the ones that coined, well, wait to basketball. We'll get you on the court. And here it is. You all will start that talk again.
Yeah.
So I think you guys have gotten in your mind that this is going to be a loss. However, I think you all have a 50-50 chance at this. Tennessee is looking at the fact that you all beat Florida and you all beat them handedly. And they're looking at the fact, well, how did we lose to Florida? And how did Kentucky whoop them? So they're not going to come in here. They're not going to overlook you all, number one. You all have beaten them, 2-3 years ago or 2 years ago,
Yeah,
or
something
whatever.
like that.
So they're still fresh on their mind, and they're trying to establish a position in the pecking order in the SEC, because like I said, when Texas and Oklahoma get in here, they want to make sure that, above all, we got to be above Kentucky. And unfortunately, they're not going to overlook you all. But I see a lot of fans, Kentucky fans, talking about how you all have already checked this as a loss in the loss column, even though it's at home. And even though y'all have an opportunity to establish the run game on them. So I just wanted to make that point. The other point I wanted to talk about was,
well, wait before you go. Wait before you go to your other point. I want to say about that though. You are correct that the fan base has, but the reason why is because the fan base as a whole is really disappointed in this team, disappointed in Mark Stoops, because the past two games, what we've seen is not something characteristic of Mark Stoops' teams. The first one against Georgia, you just come out and you're just not ready to play at all, and you get your tail handed to you. Now, with Mark Stoops' teams, he always loses a game that he should not lose. So we would look, say, at a Mississippi State game or at a South Carolina game as a game we should not lose.
So you saying that
Missouri?
Wait a minute. Hold.
I won't even say Missouri. I won't even say Missouri because I think Kentucky and Missouri is around on the same level. And we have great games just about every year. This year, we were definitely, it was a second disappointment because we didn't come to play because we were too busy wanting to push around and cause penalties after the plays and stuff. So undisciplined, that's one of the reasons why. But where I was getting at is, my hope is that with Mark Stoops, we always lay an egg one game a year. Hopefully that game happens to be the Georgia game, and then the other games that we should not lose, maybe we won't lose. That's what I'm hoping. Wait
a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. You all keep throwing this. They were not ready to play. Okay, first off, you went to the hedges, and you all were ready to play. It's just when they came down there and scored as easily as they did on that first possession.
Yeah.
They smacked you in the jaw, smacked you in the face. What did Tyson
say? And we didn't respond at all. And we didn't respond at all. That's part of the definition of not ready to play. That's part of the definition of not ready to play. Because when you're ready to play, once you get smacked in the mouth, you're going to smack them back in the mouth. But what we did was we retreated. They took our heart just like that. If somebody can take your heart just like that, you're not ready to play. You don't belong in this game because all of the emotion that you had before the game was just emotion.
Okay, well, I see that differently. I see that being smacked in the jaw and got scared, not being not ready to play. Now, Missouri, you can't say you weren't ready to play. Y'all jumped on those jokers, but they smacked you in the face and realized and told y'all and showed y'all that they weren't scared of you.
But you missed the point. You missed the point, though, Richard. That Missouri game, it wasn't that we didn't come ready to play. That game, we came ready to do some foolishness after the whistle. That's completely different.
Y'all was trying to
fight.
Okay.
I think they got frustrated.
You should say that they got frustrated, mentally prepared or discipline. There you go.
But that's part of being ready to play. It's a whole encompassing.
Yeah.
I know it's really vague, but it's a whole encompassing thing.
I think
Yeah.
when I see somebody say they didn't come ready to play, I see Alabama almost losing to South Florida. Not ready
You thinking
to play.
somebody just sleepwalking through it and not
Sleepwalking
really
through the game.
Yeah,
Sleepwalking
understand.
through the game. Yeah.
Well, maybe not ready to play.
Better.
Maybe not ready to play is not the right word. Maybe not mentally prepared for the game, because I think when you start seeing ticky tack frustration penalties like we saw against Missouri, it's one of those. Oh no, it's happening to us again. Right?
Yeah.
We got punched in the mouth last week. We were up in the game. For some reason, we didn't stay married to the run. Yes, they started to stop it more. And so I get wanting to be a little more versatile, but we got to go where the bread is buttered. And we ran over Vandy. We ran over Florida. We ran over a bunch of teams. And we could have kept running the ball over Missouri and finished the game and then look to diversify our offense later. So
And Joseph
I think
Compton,
the stuff.
Joseph,
Go ahead.
what you just said that's spot on. Like once that fake punt happened and they scored, I actually don't think that we played that bad a defense. The dude was taller than our guy. Our guy was at a position just a little bit, but it really wasn't that bad. But once that happened, it's just kind of like,
Yeah, he got he should have stayed goal side and he didn't, and let the guy get behind him and just jumped over the top of him. So that's not that big of a deal. But going away from the run, once again, this team has got to embrace its ground and pound. We realize, listen, Leary is not going to sling the ball like Duke's quarterback, right? He's not going to be slinging the ball like Florida State's quarterback. So that's what we thought we were getting into at the beginning of the season. At least I was. I'll speak for me.
Yeah.
I thought we had a gunslinger. I thought we had a shooter coming. It turns out we don't.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, but
thought it too.
that's what we heard. That's what we heard. It was supposed to be a gunslinger, and just I don't know. Go ahead.
He's the real deal, man. His injury is for real. I think that's what it boils down to. The man hadn't thrown in a while. He's still trying to recover from that injury. We talked about him having to relearn his throwing motions and his mechanics in some areas.
Tyrone Johnson said, "Y'all Hirsch because y'all lost to Pitt."
Tell Tyrone to come on the show.
We'll get to the
think-
U of L game. We'll get to that.
I think
Y'all
this Tennessee
can't-
game is going to be an harbinger. I think this Tennessee game is going to be an harbinger to what's going to happen in the Louisville game. When I look at Tennessee, a lot of the things they do or try to do, Louisville does them. Louisville does a little bit of that as well, slinging the ball a little bit, crossing routes, picks, stuff like that. Getting
No,
the
but we
receivers
got
open.
a running game though. That's
I mean,
but it's
apparently
gonna be
when
hard.
when Tennessee wins, they have a great running game too.
okay. We have a consistent running game. I think there was only one game where we failed to get a 100-yard rusher, and it was because we abandoned the run. So
Okay.
don't worry about
Which game might that have been, Richard?
North Carolina State.
Okay, NC State.
All right. Well,
Pittsburgh too. We didn't have a
Yeah.
100-yard rusher.
We
all
came
right.
close.
Well, you know what?
He
While
was
we're
like,
talking about it,
93 or something like that, but it was because it wasn't even Jordan. It was the other second string running back. But nevertheless, let's get to the U of L game.
let's get to the U of L game. Let's talk about Louisville.
Right.
Louisville. Number 20 Duke comes into the Pizza Pit. Do y'all even call it the Pizza Pit anymore? Is it called that anymore?
L&N State.
It's called what now?
L&N, like Louisville and Nashville Stadium.
Louisville National Stadium. It's like a bank.
after
All right.
Papa
Well,
John's.
It's a bank. Yeah.
well, yeah, I got
Papa
it.
John's got caught
It's
with the
not a
hot
grocery
light.
store. Don't be mad because it's not a grocery store.
It's not a grocery store. All right, I hear the jab. I get the jab. All right, but yeah. So number 20 Duke comes in to Louisville National Stadium to face the number 18
National.
Louisville Cardinals, and Louisville is a favorite on this one. Duke's come in at 5-2.
Yeah, which I'm
they
kinda
come off their
tripped
loss
out
to
too.
Florida State, 38-20. Louisville comes in 6-1
Louisville's favored?
off of a yes. They come in 6-1 off of a loss to Pitt 38-21. They're favored 4.5 points by the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's crazy.
Well, I think the reason why that we're a favorite is because their quarterback's not playing. He re-injured his high ankle sprain,
Oh, yes.
so he's not playing. And then they have a couple other guys that are out. But we also lost our offensive lineman. Oh crap! I'm getting old.
Right guard Renato Brown.
Yes, it's Brown. He didn't play the Pitt game, which is another reason why penetration and offensive line was so bad that game as well. He didn't play at all. He got hurt in warmups on and is now out for the rest of the season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's wet field. Yeah, so that's another thing that we have to contend with. But I think the reason why they gave us why the spread is still 4.5 is because, like I said, their starting quarterback is not playing. And when they had to put their backup in, he was the one that got blitzed pretty bad by Florida State. He had two interceptions that game.
Gotcha.
In the second half. So that's another reason. Then, of course, we're at home. We still, even without Ronaldo Brown, our offense still generated almost 500 yards total offense against Pitt. So we can still play. We can still run some plays. It's just, like I said, this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be a lot of people. I don't know if it's going to be a black or white or a red out or whatever, but the fans really need to show up for this one because we need this one to stay in the hunt for a chance to play in Charlottesville. Everybody else is lost, and although they're talking about how our schedule is the weakest of all the ones at the top, Duke and North Carolina still got to play, so there's an opportunity for North Carolina to pick on another loss. If we beat Duke, that's 2 losses for them. So that puts if we handle our business, we're in the driver's seat to meet Florida State in Charlotte if we can play out and win out. I mean, of course, we still got Miami on the schedule, but there's an opportunity for Louisville to meet Florida State in the ACC championship if we handle our business.
Yeah, because right now, Florida State is they're 5-0 in conference. You guys are 3-1. You guys are tied with North Carolina 3-1. And like you said, Duke is right there 2-1. So this one keeps the winner stays in the hunt.
Now, of course, this is all drinking the red. This is all drinking the red Cardinal Kool-Aid. But if we beat Duke and we beat Miami. And Duke handles their business. If they beat North Carolina, which I believe they can, I don't know if they're playing at Chapel Hill or if they're playing in Durham. But if Duke manages to pull off the victory over North Carolina, that puts us in the championship game. Playing something.
Gotcha.
So we control our destiny, as they say. So hopefully. But the other thing, that's the other reason why. That's the other thing we got to be contending with because Jordan is also. They're talking about he might be questionable. Him and Thrash are questionable for this game. So, and Brom doesn't like to tell the truth when it comes to injuries. So we don't know if they're going to play or not. But supposedly on the what they're saying is both them two are questionable for the game.
So Perry, because I know that you keep up with this more. What is Brom saying about this game against Duke? It's Monday, so I know you guys had your press conference.
He had the press conference. He basically talked about the injuries, and what he didn't mention, but it's being said, is it might rain on Saturday as well. So this might be another rain game.
Oh.
So, but I didn't really pay attention to his press conference this week. I didn't really listen to it. I just read some of the footnotes, and he sounded optimistic. He said they got healed up over the weekend. I mean, over this off week, they did a lot of recruiting, handed out a lot of. But y'all lost to an unranked team.
Yes.
All right.
Tyrone Johnson's on y'all.
Y'all lost to an unranked team too. So
he said y'all got 3 more losses in y'all.
We do. This is, and none of them are to UK. So Duke, we might lose to Duke. We might lose to Miami. Yes, you're right. We might lose to Virginia.
We already know they're gonna lose that last one.
Virginia.
We already know they're gonna lose that last one. So we didn't
talk about a bowl game. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna lose that last one, our bowl game. But he talked about how they were healing up. Because they're projecting us to play Ohio State in the Orange Bowl. So
really,
yes, so,
Who's projecting this? Who is projecting this?
CBS put out their bowl projections, and we're projected to play in the Orange Bowl.
Ohio State in the Orange Bowl.
But Dietrich, No,
So
Dietrich, listen.
I said we're gonna lose our last game. You know,
Listen, though, Dietrich. Listen. And this is the prime example. I hate to go back to but this is the prime example. Because they very well may do that. But we know that they're gonna lose to Kentucky, and we know that. They're gonna lose to Kentucky. Kentucky's gonna be fifth to sixth team in the SEC. They're gonna be the second team in the ACC, and they're gonna be like, how come Kentucky can't do this?
you talking about basketball?
We talking about football. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen, Dietrich. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen.
And when I told him, but I told them already that South Carolina and Louisville are really close teams.
Yes.
And
that's a great example.
This man Richard is like, I said something blasphemy against God. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. It's just the teams they played against is much better.
Number 18
more talent than us.
I see a number 18 rank, and I see, hey, we took a loss and we're still in the rankings. And I see a UK team that, what rank are they? Are they even in the top 30?
This is what I'm talking about.
You got people on here, got haters.
It's not apples and oranges. And this, you know what? This is one time.
You got to be pulling for us. You got to be pulling because we are helping your strength and schedule. Y'all talk about schedule and strength, all that stuff. If we are ranked, we help you all. At this point, nobody cares about strength of schedule.
You win the games that's on your schedule. That's it.
I'm gonna put it like this, I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
put it like this. You got to get it in your mind that Scott Satterfield is not on that sideline. You got to understand that.
Okay.
So you also got to understand the coach you're facing has played an SEC team and beaten them that had more talent than he did.
And is a Louisville ride or die. Patino put a tattoo of a cardinal on his arm.
Well, guess what?
This dude
y'all play
have a tattoo of a cardinal.
Go out the schedule
and do like this on y'all. You got a coach that ain't gonna take no losses. He's gonna, if he's losing to y'all, he's gonna come back with no matter what it takes. We'll lose every game on the schedule, but we're gonna beat UK. That's the type of coach we got now. That's kind of coach. We got the Woody Hayes to y'all's Bo Schembechler. We got, that's what I'm saying. We got the Mike Krzyzewski to y'all's Roy Williams. No, you may get
his name is Krzyzewski, not Krzyzewski. Now,
whoever you know, what I'm talking about Roy Williams. I'm telling you, y'all may get this one because this is the first game of him coaching us. But like I said, you got a coach now that ain't gonna take this line down. He's gonna be, hey, we got to now. We're gonna spy on y'all. Hey. Ain't nobody coming to Louisville that's got UK on. It's gonna be like that now.
Hey,
totally different.
All we gotta do is do what Pitt did.
Yeah.
That's all we got to do is do what Pitt did.
Make sure our wide receiver's hand is injured. Make sure our starting running back has a hamstring.
That would only work if we were playing at the paper bag, but we are playing here at L&N.
He said at the paper bag. Okay.
L&N, isn't that the railroad you buy in Monopoly? L&N.
That's right. And you make money off of those railroads, don't you? But like I said, see, the problem is Louisville. I think Perry, you brought this up. We have a problem winning up there at Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium. So against Pitt, we have a problem.
Tell us that blah 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 blah.
Don't hate.
Y'all gonna have a problem with Duke.
Y'all
gonna have a problem with Duke.
Richie, he's a Bengals fan. He's a Bengals fan.
Oh, that's even double blast. That's a double blast
fan too.
That's a double blast there. Wow.
Hey, the Bengals. That's where it's at. The Bengals in Kentucky. That's where it's at.
Yeah, where y'all at the bottom of the division. That's right. Go on there and talk
about both of your teams, both your squad. Tyrone, don't type another thing, bro, until y'all get 2 wins in the SEC.
Typical. That's typical. If you're a UK fan, you're a Bengals fan, you probably
All right, now let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to this Duke in Louisville game. The ESPN's. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's so weird and coincidental that Louisville and UK are coming off losses where they both lost 38-21.
Yeah.
And then the opponent they're playing is going to be highly motivated because the opponent they're playing is still in the chase as well as is still in the chase for the conference title. Tennessee is still in the chase sort of for the East. They have that one loss, I think, to Alabama, right? That's been their only loss.
No, they got the loss to Florida too. So they're in chase for second.
Well, Duke is still in the chase for the conference. If they win out,
actually, Tennessee's in the chase because if Florida goes down there and loses to Georgia, Tennessee still has an opportunity to upset Georgia and still has an opportunity to.
But they still got
no. Tennessee has 2 losses in conference. Georgia has 0. They're 2 games back.
Okay, so I thought
Tennessee's in the race for second place.
They're in the race for second place. Just the East only, but okay. But anywho,
Tennessee actually, guys, Tennessee and Kentucky has the same record in conference.
Yeah,
actually, overall, exact same record.
But in the East, though, I guess it doesn't matter if they took a loss in the West instead of.
Yeah, it don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter.
Well, to Perry's point, both teams are coming off of bye weeks, playing against ranked opponents that had just taken a loss, that are still motivated to make a big splash in their conference. And this is the first time that that I've seen both U of L and UK are on the same track, parallel track, coming, starting the season off, winning their first 5 games, and then you all played a ranked opponent and took a loss. We played on the road and took a loss, but coming at, our schedules are lining up and syncing up. Who knows? Hopefully, if y'all play your cards right, and if y'all come up and grow up, y'all might be ranked by the time we play y'all at the end of the season. Who knows?
You know what? I'm actually disappointed that y'all lost against Pitt because I wanted you guys to go to that last game of the season highly ranked because I can't even explain it. I mean, I haven't watched every single snap of Louisville. I haven't watched every single game of Louisville. I've watched a pretty good bit. I just can't explain it. But I look at both teams and I'm like, it's a if we come to play, if we come with the right mindset, y'all shouldn't be on the same field with us. And if you are, it is because of coaching. I give it to Brom. If you are, it's because of coaching.
Yeah, they're playing above their weight. They're punching above their weight.
Really,
they are. They are doing. Really? They are performing better than we expected. And you guys are lucky that the starting quarterback for Duke will not be in the game.
Can I ask
because Duke's got a real defense. Duke's defense is deep, especially in the linebacker and the defensive line. They've got a lot of kids that they rotate.
Go ahead, Richard. You got a question.
You're looking at the schedule that we just played. Besides Florida, any other teams on y'all's schedule have a winning record, or have they won more than one game? Any other loss? Any other teams that y'all beat? Because I look at it like this.
Why are we talking about this?
Because he said we are playing above our weight, but the teams on our schedule are doing better than the teams on your schedule. So if we're playing above our weight,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You guys are performing better than we expected.
We actually just addressed this, but in an indirect way. I just told you. I know. Listen, sir. That's the reason why you can't understand. I just told you. I said South Carolina and Louisville are really close, but South Carolina's just playing teams that are better than them. South Carolina's record is listen, Richard. South Carolina's record is garbage, but Louisville comes in. What do you got? 6-1, and you guys are ranked. It's a difference because of who you played might have a winning record, but who did they play as well, Richard, is also part of the whole equation. I'm telling now, I'm not going to say what Dietrich said and say that you guys are punching above your weight, but I'm just saying you got to consider everything, not just one part that supports your picture.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the show was Cats and Cards, not Cards and Cocks. I'm so I'm comparing Louisville and Kentucky, not Kentucky and Louisville and South Carolina. I'm talking about. I don't care who else is out there. I'm talking about Kentucky and Louisville. That's what I'm talking about. So when you're talking about schedules and you talking about South Carolina is this and that. How does that?
We can't even get through the whole preview of Duke and Louisville, man. Come on.
Look.
I'll say this about Louisville. Louisville and Duke, you guys have one common opponent that you guys have faced so far, and that is that is Notre Dame. Duke lost to Notre Dame 21-14 at home. Louisville beat Notre Dame at home 33-20. That right there, if you want to go through the transitive property.
NC State.
Okay, and NC State. Okay. Let's say one big one. Let's say one big one.
And then we both play. Did we both play Miami? I think we both play Miami.
Do you guys play both?
We play Miami.
They play Miami next week, and we play them the week after next week.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, y'all said NC State. If we look at the NC State game and we go off the transitive property, then maybe it says something a little bit different because you guys barely got past NC State 13-10.
And we both played Notre Dame. Duke played Notre Dame. I don't think Duke plays Miami.
Sir, I just talked about Duke and Notre Dame. And Louisville, Notre Dame.
That's a better transitive property, though. You talk.
That's what I just said, sir.
You said NC State.
No, who did I say first? I said Duke. I got my notes. My notes right here says Duke, and it has the scores.
Dude. Hey, I think they're not going to score a lot of points in that game. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. The Duke Louisville game. Yeah, I think so. I don't think Plummer's going to do his Doug Flutie impression, and I think they got a better defense than you guys have played. I think the Duke defense is probably a little bit better than Notre Dame's defense. To me, seeing them play.
I don't think so.
To me, watching them play.
You saw what Notre Dame did to USC. You can't ever let that come out of your mouth. If you saw
no. I saw them play Florida State, and I felt like they played well against Florida State. And Florida State's got a really good offense.
Okay, I think for about a half, they stuck
Florida State wore them guys out.
Yeah, for about a half, and then attrition came and sapped all that energy out of the Duke defensive line. So, especially when their quarterback started turning the ball over, when their second string quarterback started turning the ball over, it's just you can't.
Once the chippy play of yanking off the quarterback's helmet, I thought that we can't. That's a different game. But that's once the starting quarterback goes out, all bets are off. Y'all probably win the game. But it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think Duke is going to play hard against you guys.
Well, I'll say this.
I'm glad you have doubt about us because every time you have doubt about us, Dietrich, we turn around and smack you in your mouth about it.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that.
Lose to North Carolina State, and what happened? Thank you. So thank you, Lee Corso, for predicting us to have a tough time with Duke. I appreciate that.
Not so fast, my friend.
There's one more factor that I would toss in, and it's that Duke is coming off a very physical game against Florida State.
Sean Gurton.
So they're coming off a very physical game against Florida State. They won't have their starting quarterback.
That's right, Sean.
I think their defense is going to put up a good fight for maybe a whole quarter or half. I'm not going to predict a blowout or anything like that. But if it's not raining, it's the game is over. If it's raining,
so Sean says that Duke's quarterback getting hurt turned that game. So if he's healthy, they convert the fourth down. They beat FSU.
I agree.
I don't think they beat him. I think it'd be a closer score.
I think they would have won. If he was 100% healthy, which we have not seen since the Notre Dame game. The last two games that they played, their quarterback, in one game he didn't play. The North Carolina State game, which they won 24-3 or 24-7, their quarterback didn't play. They had the backup. So all they did was run the ball. And that's the one thing about their game is they're a very good running team. They're very physical on both of their lines. That's the only thing I fear about them is they remind me of the UK team from a couple of years ago.
I was going to say, because I'm looking at their stats right now, and they must be physical on their O-line because I'm going to go ahead and say, looking at stats, the key to Louisville's victory is going to be your defensive front. If your defensive front comes and plays and they're consistent the whole game, they can beat Duke. If not, you guys are going to have issues. Even if the starting quarterback doesn't play, is he a runner? Because when I look at his stats, he's not even thrown for 1,000 yards. He's not even had
he's a
3
runner.
TDs.
He passes just enough to keep teams cautious.
Makes sense.
He's not a runner at all. And so they've had some luck in some games, but they are legit. I mean, they played Notre Dame straight up. and they were down for a bit, and then they came back and basically became very physical in the second half. To the very end, when they let the Notre Dame running back, get loose for that 40-yard touchdown at the very end of the game. They had that game to a degree, and so against Florida State, it was sort of in and out. The quarterback was not running; they had him literally back there in the pocket throwing, and you can see from his stats that even with him being a pocket first quarterback, he wasn't the best pocket quarterback. Even with him converting to that, and then he got out and ran, had one run for 13 yards, and then there was the whole thing where he was getting sacked and got his helmet pulled off and re-aggravated his leg. And so after that, the new guy came in. It was Kurtz. If the new guy's playing for him, I don't know, dog. I don't know.
Is he a runner?
He's a runner on the level of a Malik Jackson. But the problem is like I said,
who is Malik Jackson?
I mean, Malik Cunningham. My bad.
He done mixed the two. He said, "We gonna make a quarterback."
He's kind of he reminded me a little bit of Malik Cunningham. But the problem is he doesn't have the experience. He still made a lot of rookie mistakes out there.
Got you.
Yeah, I think that's his only problem. He's talented. I just think he hadn't had the snaps.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I tried to watch them against the FSU game, but I had some stuff that come up, and I really didn't get to watch it like I wanted to. But, yeah, as I look at the stats and I make an assumption, I would say that, this is going to be the test of who has the best fronts, who has the best offensive line, defensive line, So, let's see if Louisville can do it.
I wanted to make one last point that I didn't get to make when I was talking about my 3 points. The other point is I know Deion will probably end up getting Coach of the Year if they make it to a bowl. But if he doesn't get it, probably the Coach of the Year should be Nick Saban. Like I said, after seeing what they did with Tennessee and how they was getting manhandled that first half. And here's a team, Alabama. Everybody knows Alabama's down slightly. But he had to shuffle quarterbacks in, and still he is leading the SEC West, undefeated in the SEC West, and really the loss to Texas, which is no shame, But still, for him to be what he's doing with Alabama, he should be Coach of the Year if Deion doesn't get it. And then the third Coach of the Year should be Jeff Brom. Seriously, if he takes Louisville to a good New Year's Eve bowl in his first season, coming off the type of team that he had dealing with and what he did in the transfer portal, that deserves Coach of the Year too. I mean, especially if he beats y'all. So, and I'm not just talking smack, but you got to think about it. How many other first-year coaches can say that kind, do that kind of turnaround and do that kind of good of a job. I mean, Satterfield took us to a bowl of his first season, but we lost. But nevertheless, to see what he's doing, we're back in the rankings. We beat. Did we beat Michigan State? I thought we lost to them. We did
Mississippi State. We beat them in the bowl game.
Okay, all right.
They had backup coaches in.
That's why we got Perry. He backs up the. Backs up the fanhood. Anywho, nevertheless, I'm just saying that was my third point. I didn't get a chance to make. So, but go Cards. There we go.
Go Cards. He's gonna get that in L1C whatever. All right. Yeah. I've heard because you went off to a different subject as far as coach of the year. I actually read an article after you said that in text. I actually read an article and they were saying the same thing, that they didn't say Coach of the Year in the nation, but they said in the SEC because of what he's having to do, how Saban's having to adjust to this team and not really adjusting like before the season. This is adjusting on the fly, and we seen that firsthand against Tennessee. They completely changed the game plan second half, and that caused Tennessee problems. You can definitely see it. So, yep, I give it to him on that. Yeah, we can go ahead and start the basketball. I hear somebody is whispering about basketball. So let's go ahead and get into it. Louisville Cardinals at the Yum Center. You guys had a scrimmage, and our beloved resident Cardinal expert, William Perry Henderson, has the play-by-play on for us. Perry, go ahead and take it away.
I don't have the play-by-play. I just got some notes about the team as a whole.
You have some highlights for us? Oh,
Got some
look at
highlights.
there.
Got some highlights.
He's fancy, y'all.
All right. You know, we want to try to get to the clips that we have. Don't just bear with me as I scroll through on some of them.
All
But I
right.
just wanted to talk about the players real quick. We lost a lot of players from last year's team. We got maybe 8 newcomers, something like that. They'll talk about it. Jody and Kent Taylor will talk about it. But we've got 8 newcomers, 4 transfers, returners. You know, only 3 coming back from the last team. We've got a guy from Southern California. His name is Trey White. This guy he's got some pro aspirations. When I see the way he's played and the way another guy, Curtis Williams, plays, and the way the guy from Mel, that guy plays, I
Who's
really
that?
feel like
Sir, we being vague. Who's the guy from Mel? Who is
Mel
Uncle
High
Duffy?
School. He played for Mel High School. Oh man, I don't have his name.
Is
Oh,
it trainer?
man. No,
No, JJ's
Davis.
not.
No, Yeah, is it Davis? What's the guy's name? I didn't get him on. I got my bad, fans. Glenn. All I remember is his first name is
Caleb Glenn, 6'6", 205 pounds.
That's him. All right. Those 3 all occupy the same position. So we begin to see why the guy that was supposed to come in Flowers, why Flowers probably left for Australia. He probably came into practice thinking he was going to be converted to a point guard. And we have it on record from some of the press clippings that Caleb Glenn and Trey White and Curtis Williams, they've all been told by Kenny Payne that they're being developed as guards for the NBA. So you have 3 guys being developed as guards for the NBA. They've been here all summer. And then you have a newcomer come in who, again, is highly talented, very talented, has a very high ceiling. But for whatever reason, I don't think he made the starting lineup. You know, I don't think he was up to snuff when it came to the other 3 guys. He saw the writing on the wall, and he said, look, man, I don't think I'm going to be developed the way I want to be developed. I'm going to head to Australia. That's what it seems like to me. And so we've got these 3 guys. We've got a new center, 7'1" Dennis Edmond. Let me roll some tape.
They're calling him Dennis the Menace.
They're calling him Dennis the Menace. Now, to be honest, we basically played a church league team. I ain't going to front on that, guys. But any win is a good win. A 40-point win, 50-point win, it's a good win, man. And so we played a glorified church league team from a church team from a church league. I didn't know there was any such thing as the National Christian College Association of College Basketball. I didn't know that was a thing, but now I know.
For you all who don't know, Simmons College, I don't know if you've heard of the name Dr. Kevin Cosby. He is the president of the school over there. So anybody who in this area who knows the Cosby name and knows St. Stephen's St. Stephen's Christian Church, he is the president of the board over there at the college. So that gives you an idea what you're dealing with.
St. Stephen's folks.
Yeah. So this is school though. They've only been playing basketball for 9 years. So, yes, this is the competition that we're sizing up. So go ahead, Perry.
I'm gonna roll a little. This is roll a little highlight. This is Curtis Williams' first score of the game. You can see he's a smooth athlete. He has some handles. He's 6'7", has a very silky smooth jumper. Like he was on all night. 3 3-pointers. The dude is legit. I feel like he'll be one of our better players heading down the road. This team has a lot of potential. Just wrap your eyes around that. A lot of potential. Let me go back and show a quick clip of Dennis the Menace. We got Mr. Evans.
And you
very
all,
fast,
Mr.
very
Evans,
athletic.
Mr. Evans is the first 7-foot starter for Louisville since Felton Spencer. Now we've had some other 7-footers. The last one coming through there was Anas Mahmoud, but he is the first starter since Felton Spencer. So that says a lot from the program direction, from where we used to be known to be the tweeners, because we'd get 6'8", 6'9", 6'8" guys and focus on our, yeah. So, but now that we actually have a starting 7-footer, that's one thing.
So you got a rim protector. I see. Okay.
He's good for a freshman. I mean, he's got
Very
some
fast on
skills.
his feet. He's not a stiff, although he runs very upright and very heavy-footed up and down the court. That's my only thing is they got to teach him to run a little bit better. You know, that comes with athleticism, that comes with some development. Of course, you can see he's got to put on some weight. He's going to get bullied against better centers, even shorter guys that are got some weight on them are going to be able to bully him. But for the most part, he is as advertised. He's not a slow guy. He's very fast, gets off the court really fast.
Sean said that we're going to see if Kenny Payne can coach. I think you're correct because I don't think the first season you can even really tell if you can or not.
I agree with Sean. This is a very it's I can tell during this game while we were watching the game that they weren't all moving at 100%. Like they weren't all giving it 100% effort. They were doing a lot based on athleticism and their skill level. You can see guys, there's so many turnovers from where guys just weren't even focusing on the pass. They were just focusing on, let me get to my place.
You finally got to the kryptonite here, finally, the turnovers. It was
bad, man.
First half was horrible, but I was talking to somebody this weekend. The first half was horrible when it came to turnovers. These guys couldn't handle the ball if the ball had handles on it. But what I did see that second half, they cleaned up those turnovers. So let me know that this is a coachable thing that they should be able to fix. And hopefully this is just first game jitters.
We got commercials in the shot.
My bad.
Y'all,
we'll get better.
We'll get better. This is a rough going. You know. Season 1. This is season 1. You know, it's not like we are ESPN out here or nothing.
Hey, listen, I didn't watch the game, but what kind of turnovers were they? Because there's turnovers,
stupid passing turnovers.
I
mean, you talking about? We're not talking about hey, dribble off my foot. We're talking about just simply passing it around the top of the key. Dude was just hey, pass straight to the guy. I mean, I could see that. Hey, what are you doing? Pay attention. You know, you too quick to pay. You know, it wasn't stupid stuff like deflection or hey, dribble between my legs in the paint and got it stolen from me, or I'm trying to be fancy. No, this was simple.
I saw some of those too.
Yeah, I mean they were there, but we're talking about
Trey White was just terrible on his first ones. He literally boom, boom, and then tried to dribble behind his back. Right here, I think this is one of his turnovers. Nah, this is him trying to score. He got fouled on that. But no, it was bad. It was just you could tell they just need more coaching. They need to be scared of something.
In that first 5 minutes of play, they had almost as many turnovers as points in that first 5 minutes of play, and I think they had like 10 points.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it was pretty bad. I think they ended the half with like 12,
24.
13. The half was like 12. I mean, it was probably closer to 15 turnovers in that first half.
Sean said that he don't think that Kenny played his starting 5.
He didn't.
He played everybody. He just didn't play the 5 together that was going to start.
Gotcha.
He played everybody though, but he didn't play.
I don't know if this is a Calipari thing or something. You can correct me and let me know if it is. But they said that Kenny Payne did not play his best 2 players together in practice at all. Trey White and Sky Clark are some of the best guys, along with the starting lineup that we see during the regular season should be Dennis Evans, Sky Clark, number 55 right there, Trey Clark, the guy with the ball in his hands right there, and Curtis Williams. They only played those 2 together for 2 minutes, and you see the bad turnover that Trey Williams just made.
But you know why I think he did that? You know why I think he did that?
He said he's trying to make them better. See who can make who could make the guys around them better. Just as a whole.
So when they do that, yes, exactly, because he still has questions about some other guys. He's saying, okay, these guys are straight. I know I can play with these 2 guys, but who else can I put in with these guys? That's what he's doing. And you are correct. That is I'm not going to say it's a Calipari thing because a lot of other coaches probably do the same thing, but Calipari does do it often. I'm not going to say he did it every year, but Calipari has done that often, definitely. And we do not support Chevy on this show. We're not a Chevy. We support them, I guess. Somebody has a Chevy.
Them.
Yeah, we don't. We don't endorse them unless they pay in.
Suburban, and I endorse Chevy. I have a Suburban.
Well, Chevy, I need a check.
We need a check like a rock. We need that check to come.
Yeah.
Get the show. Get late to the Chevy truck, y'all.
There you go. Who's Mike James? Mike James look good.
All in all, from an exhibition game, which is what this is, you don't expect a coach to, really be running sets. You kind of throwing guys out there. The main part of what you do in an exhibition game is just getting the kids used to the lights, used to
Yeah.
the crowd, used to the adrenaline in their system. You're not necessarily concerned, and that's why I was asking about the turnovers, because some turnovers are simply from rushing, being hurried, being in that adrenaline hitting your system, running things at speed that you can't replicate in practice, and then also just getting used to your offensive system, expecting a guy to be there, so you were gonna make a pass, but the
I agree
guy
with that.
wasn't where you thought he was gonna be, so now you gotta come up with some crazy behind the back dribble, that sort of thing. That's why I was asking about the turnovers, because you're gonna see you expect them to go in and make mistakes in an exhibition game. You're just throwing things at the wall, seeing how each individual player responds to adversity.
Well, I got a
Yeah.
question for you, Perry. What do you think about their defense? I think this is where you and I differ. I think the defense really is a question mark because what I saw, yes, of course, they put a 40-point beat down on the team, but I think mainly because Simmons really couldn't shoot. And it was more what they were doing to themselves. Louisville really, in my opinion, really didn't cause them to miss the shots. They weren't doing any blocks or they did out rebound Simmons, but I didn't really see anything defensively that made me believe that it was Louisville doing this. What do you think?
I think we did a good job of staying in front of guys. They had a couple of guys that were sort of quick, but the rest of the team, they weren't any good. But we starting a lot of newcomers, a lot of freshmen. I don't think there's not a lot of excuse for somebody like Sky Clark or Trey White to be bad on defense. But Williams, he's got some excuses. He's a freshman. That's the hardest thing to teach freshmen is how to guard somebody in college without fouling. Dennis Evans is going to be fine. He's super long, super tall. He's going to affect the ball. He's going to affect whatever comes into the paint.
Because a lot of stuff I saw Simmons do, it wasn't It wasn't a lot of. Like I said, it was easy open shots from those points they did make. I didn't see uncontested shots.
That's
Look,
not
right
contested.
there.
But
Right,
but if you watch him, he was sort of rushed. It wasn't that shot wasn't I'm loose, I'm going to take it. The guy got the shot and he's rushed. What you want to see is guys being, even if they get an open shot, you want to see them rushed. You want to see them like, oh man, is the shot clock going down? Oh man, is Dennis Evans going to squat it out of my? Oh man, am I going to get a steal? Contested shots being made. If a team is making a lot of contested shots, that's a really good offensive team. You expect teams that are making contested shots to not make those shots, no matter what level of play that they are, unless it's a team that's used to it. What I see here, I'm seeing this defensive set right here, and it's pretty decent. That's a contested shot. And it was as the shot clock was going down. The guy got the rebound. The shot that must be a new thing where the shot clock only resets to like 12 seconds or something. But that's another contested shot. That's what you want to see on defense. And so that's what I saw all night. They were missing a lot of contested or out of rhythm shots. That shot right there that Mike James just made, that's a good shot. That's a wide open shot. He's supposed to make that. But if somebody is 2 feet in front of near him and rushing towards him, he's got to, unless he's used to making those shots, that's a contested shot. And that's what you want to see from your defense. What you don't want to see is guys like number 4 here dribble and then get past and take it on the baseline and totally unbalance the defense and have the ball rotating around to a open shot. But this right here, good defense. All of this is good defense. If the guy had, that's all good defense. So that's what I saw most of the night.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It looks like that your defense was a disruptor, but again, it's Simmons. So just hope
it's
that
Simmons, the church league. Bam.
Yeah. I think the tallest player was what, 5'1"? I'm sorry, 6'1".
Is that Dennis Evans right here? Yep.
Yeah,
They looked
that
well
was him.
undersized against you guys.
They did have the shortest player out there.
They
Looked
had
like he was like 4'8".
6'8" guy.
4'8"
Gotcha.
guy. Did have a Manute Bow, Spud Webb looking guy out there. I think
Well, Dennis Evans looked like a Manute Bowles, but
Yeah.
type of person.
He's going to get it. I mean, trust me, he's going to get exposed. The whole team is going to get exposed when we've got in 3 weeks we
Texas.
play Texas.
Yeah, y'all got
We're
Texas.
going to get exposed. I mean, I just want to see us be competitive and not look lost like we did most of the year. I mean,
Hey,
that's what I want to see.
Where's Huntley at? Huntley Hatfield.
He'll be in there soon. He didn't
he
do
hurt?
too well this night. No. He didn't do well that like he didn't do that well. Neither did Okorafor, the guy that was going off on you guys in the Global Jam.
Yeah.
He didn't do too well either. So, but Kenny Payne has said it. He said he now has options. You know, he wants to see he wants to see everybody pick up their play.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I saw.
He played with the African team in the Global Jam or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, he did. He actually played well against us. Now, that wasn't one of our 7-footers in, but he did. He played well against us.
I think I read someplace, Perry, that or I heard someplace on the radio that Vegas gives Louisville 13 games. We win 13 games this year. Somebody another betting site said 14. But I think Kenny Payne will win 15, 16 games this year. We may not go to the tournament, but I think he will keep his job this year. I think that's what kind of confidence, what kind of team I see out there on the court. Like I said, we got a lot of potential, and what I see is a team that can get him 15 wins this year. We might even go to the NIT.
He said we might even go to NIT. Louisville has fallen far.
We have fallen far, man.
Yeah, but I'm being truthful. And hey,
but
hold on. How come you can't be truthful when it comes to football, but you could be truthful when it comes to basketball? You see how you do the black man? The black man is the head coach.
No.
Wait a minute.
I did. I was
Y'all
all for
fired
Charlie
Tubby
Strong
Smith.
too. Yeah. Tell me
Don't
about
say
it.
nothing.
So don't say nothing. But I'm saying, hey, a true fan shows up when they lose. They show up on this podcast when they lose. They don't give some limp excuse. My car broke down. I got to take my kid or something. No, we show up. Rain, sleet, or snow, hell or high water, because we're a true fan.
Ross, shots fired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these other people that mysteriously couldn't show up after the Georgia game, or mysteriously didn't show up. So I'm telling the truth. I think Kenny will keep his job this year. I'm hoping that he does. So yeah.
Yep.
I don't see why his job is in question. This is his first. That year was a scratch year. Like you don't even put that on him. He inherited the team. He didn't have a recruiting class at all. When he's on the recruiting trail, he's got the shadow of a lawsuit over his head while he's trying to sit in somebody's living room, and they're going, "Hey, my kid would love to play for you, but y'all getting sued. We don't know if y'all even going to be eligible next year to play and postseason play." So I say you don't even count that first year. Take it out of your mind. Kenny Payne has already grown leaps and bounds with this team, getting some good quality transfers, getting the team stabilized to where, like everyone is saying, oh, this is a competitive college basketball team now and can win a certain number of games. So that's a win in my book. I don't know why his job's in question, personally.
If I may say, I'm just going to, we trying to be
Perry, nobody's watching that anymore.
Truthful in all things here, but the reason why his job is in jeopardy, we're just going to keep it real. You know why?
I can't put my hand on it.
I can't seem to make the similarity here. Why? But he's probably not. He's probably going to have a lot of scrutiny.
I agree, Sean. I agree.
There was more. Okay, it was more.
We had adequate amount of talent. It just needed the right motivator, the right coach, and the right motivator, and we didn't have that last year. So I'm praying. I'm praying he does better this year, because if not, he got to go.
Hey,
he got to go, man. He needs to win 15 games. Anywhere
15 games.
14 to 15 games he needs to win. I mean, I hate to do it like that,
Man, they're not gonna give the man 3 years to build.
Man,
would y'all?
Yes.
Hey.
No, you wouldn't.
Hey, you gotta win 20 games over here.
Tubby had to win a title in order to stay his second year.
Tubby
didn't win that title in 1998. He wasn't.
Y'all kicked Gillespie out in 2. So what are you talking
about?
Y'all
kicked Gillespie. Made
come on, man. He had to go.
Well,
he had to go.
Out, man.
That wasn't a normal coach. He He had to
was a
go.
little rough on the players.
There were off the court issues with him, and
A
he
ton.
needed to go.
When you deal with the UK fan base, you gonna drink a little bit. If y'all would just lighten up on your coaches, you know what I'm saying? And he was a little hard on the players, but once again, stuff rolls downhill. If
Stuff
the
rolls
fans
downhill.
on top of you,
Hey,
if the
you gotta
fans on
have.
top of you.
He was just the best guy. Really, I wish we had gotten Shaka Smart that year. I think that was the year Shaka Smart had made some inroads. But I think because we were leaving Tubby to go to somebody else, I think they, like I said, I can't really put my hand
Shaka Smart
on.
was making inroads at that time. He was.
No,
I think Shaka wasn't it the same year
too
Shaka
early.
Smart had taken his team?
No, it's
I thought that was much later.
Yeah,
I think you were
I'm
two different
crossing
decades.
I think I'm crossing my decades, but I knew they wasn't gonna go. I knew they wasn't gonna go with another brother at the helm. We knew that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
On the plate or on the mound was Tom Crean. Who was the dude?
I think Billy Donovan was on there, and he told
Billy
us
Donovan,
no.
Yeah, he said
Because
no.
Billy Donovan was
yeah.
our number one. He told us no.
Yeah, we would have loved Billy Donovan. We
Yeah.
would have loved, but he was winning national championships at Florida. Why leave?
The 04s. Yeah.
Yeah, why leave? You're winning. You got the sunshine. Why leave?
Yeah. And we didn't want to ask. The word is Mike Pratt says that we didn't want to ask Calipari because they were still saying that he was a cheater. So when the way they finally convinced the AD,
Really?
Mitch Bernhardt, to go after
Really?
Calipari was they did an investigation on him, and they included the NCAA. NCAA said we haven't found any wrongdoing on him. So that's when Mitch Bernhardt says, "Hey, okay, well, let's go ahead and hire him." You know, and happened so what we found out since he's been the coach, it is kind of weird that he at UMass, he's the one that turned in his own player, Marcus Camby, and then he ended up getting everything revoked. I mean, so he wasn't hiding it. He said, "Hey, we cheated." And then they took everything. So he wasn't hiding it. Then he goes to Memphis. I don't know what happened in Memphis. I don't. That's just weird. I don't know. But the NCAA said, but the NCAA said he didn't do nothing wrong.
13 and 14 either. I don't know what happened. We won a title, but I don't know what happened. Yeah, I got them. I don't know what happens too.
But for real, I
took
don't.
a perfectly good coach and ruined him at Louisville. He was a perfectly good basketball coach, and Louisville ruined this man. We gave y'all a championship
How did
coach.
we ruin him? How did we ruin
And
him?
y'all
Putting
kicked
all
out a
these beautiful
disgraceful
women in
coach.
his way, or putting all these beautiful women out here in the city. How did we?
Yeah, y'all did ruin Rick Pitino. Y'all corrupted Rick Pitino.
I can't
Y'all
help it
corrupted
that we
Rick
got
Pitino.
beautiful women in our restaurants. That work late at night. I don't know. We got beautiful coaches' wives. I don't know.
What about so I guess y'all got beautiful strippers too.
We
He said,
Shots fired.
And
When I saw the picture of them strippers,
somebody had to tell them to come on campus. Somebody had to tell them to come on campus.
So you gonna lose the title over something, man. You gonna lose. Oh my goodness.
Oh God, that was funny. All right, Louisville. Okay, so what's the over under for you guys on wins? For your basketball team.
Like
I do like that you guys have 3 warm-up games before you get ready to face Texas, which will be a big test. But what's your over/under for you guys?
If we improve in those games, I think we'll have a pretty decent season. Last year we started it off. We lost both of the we lost one of the games, one of the exhibition games. I think we lost both of them, maybe, but we at least lost the first one to D2 at Lenore. And so the rest of the preseason, the pre-conference schedule, we didn't do well. We lost all of those games, but all of them were by like a point. And that's what guys not playing at maximum effort. I feel like these are legit. These are Kenny Payne's guys. These guys are going to bring another. They've got some more gears to go when it comes to their effort. Their skill level is pretty good. Their athleticism is pretty good. If they give him all that they have, we can see a return to the NCAA.
All
But
right.
it's up to him to coach him. This is all on this at this point. It's all on coaching now. It's no longer my players are junk or I don't have good players. We saw in the exposition game that all of those players are good.
Mm-hmm.
They're good, like better than mid major good. They are mid tier ACC, upper level SEC because they're that good. The right coach can come in and coach those players to win the SEC.
So what's your over and under?
That's my jab at the SEC and how bad that.
Hey, I heard it, but my question was, what is your over under?
No, that's not the question.
Right.
15
games. All right, 15 games.
Over, the under is 10.
I think before we get to the UK game, U of L should probably be 8-2, 8-3. I mean, we lose Texas. We probably lose the second game in that tournament. But the rest of the games are winnable. If we can steal a victory, if somebody said steal a victory from either Virginia Tech or DePaul, we should come into the UK game 8-2, 8-3 around that. So if we make that much, I mean, at that point, we'll see how we play against UK. Are we playing at UK or are we? Yeah, we're playing at UK.
No.
It's a young.
Both of them. Okay, so this year we got both of them here.
Girls too.
If we play you all
to that
close,
game.
if we play you all close, and I mean close, keep it under 10, keep it between 10 and 15 points, he's going to get his 15. I think, I don't know about going to the NCAA tournament because the ACC is we still got something to deal with. It's still down.
Hey,
I don't know what we're going to do.
Duke is going to be.
I'm not even talking about Duke. I'm talking about the same old threats that we always have to deal with. Florida State, Clemson done started rising up on us and giving us some drama.
Miami.
We pushed them last year. Didn't we take them to overtime? I think we took them to OT or we took them to OT.
Well, Miami is ranked. Virginia. I don't know why they.
Virginia's always been a problem for us.
Yeah, Virginia, Florida State. I don't think we beat Florida State since we've been in the ACC. So that's one of those games.
Man, we beat them. Even David Padgett beat them. That's why it was so bad last year. David Padgett beat them. Mac beat them a couple of times.
Florida
So Richard.
Yeah, Florida State.
Yeah.
So Richard, what's your over under and wins for Kenny Payne? Yep.
I say 15 wins.
15 wins.
Get the first 8 or 9 before we meet UK, and then somehow we beat Virginia Tech, beat Boston College, get Georgia Tech. We might split one with Syracuse. We'll get Wake Forest, and we probably will split one with Pitt. That's where we get our other wins. But we'll get 15 wins this year. Whether we make it to the NCAA tournament is a far cry, but I think we'll get to the NIT for sure.
So, all right here on Cats versus Cards, let me know. Is Kenny Payne the coach of Louisville Cardinals basketball next year?
He will keep his job. I think he will keep his job, and he will be the coach next year.
All right. Perry, what do you think?
I mean, that's the consensus even on the boards.
All right. Yeah. The reason why I asked that.
He should.
Yeah, I think so too. The reason why I asked that is because right now the ESPN, they have him high on the hot seat, so that'll be interesting. Sean, what are you talking about? 18. Oh, yeah, your over under is 18. All right. Hey, he's got higher standards than you guys. Sean, I agree with you. Needs to be 18 because if he was at Kentucky, we'll talk about 20 wins. You got to have 20 wins.
Okay. Once again, we came off of a devastating.
In the back of your mind, you saying he's a horrible coach because y'all won 4 games. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say he was a horrible coach. I'm just saying he was, lemony snicket. Series of unfortunate events. He came in right at the terrible time when after all that we had to deal with sanctions and stripping of our title and everything and recruiting and everything, all that. Plus, he's got transfer portal allows the players to transfer just for the slightest little thing. So all your talent went out the door. And then, like I said, you coaching in a conference that ain't no mercy. It's not like Conference USA where you only had 2 or 3 opponents that you had to worry about and getting up for those, and you could sneak around, sneak off some victories here and there. No, every game in the ACC is a battle. every game. So in some of these teams, you just, if you ain't got the talent and you coming off and it's your first head coaching job, yeah, it's going to be brutal. So I'm not saying he's a terrible coach, but Louisville is a blue chip program, and we're not going to suffer too many back-to-back less than 10 victory seasons. So if he doesn't, I can see why they would kick him out, and unfortunate for him. But like I said, if they didn't think David Padgett was good enough for 2 years, and a 3-year contract, and he did get us, he did get some quality wins in 18. Did he get 20?
He got us to the NIT. He got us 21.
20 victories, 21 victories. So, they would definitely take care of, those coach at that caliber. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. All right. Sean, I agree with you. If he's winning under 15, yeah, he might have to do something. We'll see. All right.
Hey,
All
if
right.
Jimbo Fisher can keep his job,
Jimbo.
Kenny Payne should be able.
Hey, let me say this. Just to go back to football for 1 second. Jimbo Fisher has to be the most overrated coach in college football.
yeah.
It's just wild. All right, let's go ahead and switch to this Kentucky Wildcats. Yes, sir.
I gotta go use the bathroom on this.
Yeah, I gotta be back. I gotta go get my.
We got haters in the camp. Now, I didn't really get to catch the game. I wish I really did. And kudos to Calipari. The last 2 years, Calipari has done something a little bit different and decided to have the blue-white game on the road to accommodate people, especially over in Eastern Kentucky when they had all the floods and everything, to bring some joy to their life. And then he did the same thing to Northern Kentucky.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're not Louisville fans. I'm sorry, but look at the team. They continue doing what they were doing in Canada this summer and sharing the ball.
But how is it that the basketball team can play their early games away from corrupt arena, but the football team, we need that money for tickets. We have to play all our cupcakes.
Yeah, I mean it's two different things. Well, here's one
Because
thing.
basketball plays 40 games, okay, almost. So
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, he raises money for causes. I mean, Kentucky football, they actually did raise some money for Eastern Kentucky. It just wasn't during the football game. We in Eastern Kentucky, who's going to hold UK football over there?
Wait a minute. What cause was on display for this exhibition game? For the blue-white scrimmage? Was it Calipari? I need money in my pocket calls. What was the call?
No, I don't actually. I think there was calls because I think I heard something. I don't forget what it was. But no, Calipari. They didn't take any money.
His wife has a charity, I think.
Yeah, they didn't take any money.
The Mrs. Calipari, she needs money in her purse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Hey, it's one thing Calipari is not short on his cash.
Look at that right there. Y'all see Thero right there?
Pay him $3.6 million to not get to the second weekend of the NCAA. Yeah, you're right. He ain't short on cash.
Yeah. That's old.
Hater-rated.
That's old.
He about as overrated as our guy at Texas A&M.
He's
No,
overrated.
no, I wouldn't go that far because we've done some special stuff. We've had a run that no other coaches had, even though it ended up with one title. But as deep as he went in the tournament, in as many tournament games, in the period that he had, no other coach had done that. So you can't put him there.
Denny Crum in the 80s.
But we had the most. In order to have by your name the most tournament wins, you have to be more than somebody. It have to be more than Denny Crum, right? Or it wouldn't be the most. That's the point of saying it's the most.
That's the definition of the word most.
Yeah. So he had done something that others hadn't done, But as we talk about my team right here, this is one thing that I do like. Robert Dillinger, I'm not going to say he's a different player. He did end up with 40 points in this game, and it's a blue-white scrimmage. It's no significance, right? But what we do know is every single year, the breakout player in this game usually has a good year during the season. And Robert Dillinger, when we were in Canada, he was too skinny to do a lot. But you can tell. I forgot
Strength
how
and
much weight
conditioning.
that he's gained. But
Strength
you
and
could tell on
conditioning,
film that he's gained a lot more weight. And he's playing a little bit different too.
Which
How many
one
people
is
showed up for this? How many people
It
showed
was.
up
I
for
think it was a sold out crowd up there in NKU.
Why is it so dark?
I
need
don't
better
know.
cameras.
That's
I should
the
have better cameras.
yeah yeah. They probably didn't have it. It's at Northern Kentucky. I doubt we took cameras with us up there. But I mean, this year is going to be a fun year for Kentucky basketball. I think it's going to be a vintage Cal team. We've got
Yay.
rim protection out the wazoo with Aaron
If they're
Bradshaw. We got if they're healthy. I'm gonna tell you, Aaron Bradshaw is healthy. They're just taking extra safety precautions. All right, I'll tell you that.
Well, they were initially saying 5 weeks, I think, for him to come back.
Yeah.
He'll come
Maybe
back for
sooner
the
than
Louisville
that,
game.
but
He'll
Well,
come back to the Louisville game. That's
Okay,
how it works.
and I'll tell you guys again. I had it from the best source that you could have. When he had the surgery in the beginning, they already knew it was going to be longer than that. What was put out was what the doctor said it would take for him to come back, and all intents and purposes, that is what it took to come back. Now that he's back, the head man at UK said, "Hey, you're a 7-footer, and you had a foot injury. Usually those things linger. We need you for the season. Let's sit out longer." That's really what happened.
You know, there's more to it though.
so they're
right?
sitting
Like,
out for
No,
precaution.
no,
not
there's-
necessarily
no,
'cause
there's-
he's not ready to go.
I'm not talking about the injury. I'm saying he probably won't be back until the Louisville game because he hasn't conditioned, he hasn't ran. He
Oh,
hasn't
yeah.
practiced with the team. He is officially behind him and the other two guys. So one of them's going to play because they got to.
I think Hugo is the one that's probably not going to come back till about mid-year. I think Hugo is the one because of when his injury happened. And the word is that he is a little bit further behind in the healing process. Which for me, I am excited to see Vonimir Jovic.
Big Z.
I'm really Big Z. Yeah, there we go. That's so much easier. I'm really interested in seeing him. I think a lot of people looked at his highlights and was like, oh my God, look at him. We're getting ready to have the college version of Victor Wembanyama. Hold your horses on that. I think that he's going to have an adjustment period here, but when it clicks, it's just going to be so much better for UK.
Hey, but he can shoot.
He can.
He can shoot.
But they also said that he has. But they also said that he has his moments to where he just do stupid stuff and have turnovers and things too.
Did he play in this game?
No, Calipari set him out.
No.
That was one error that Calipari had because at the end of the Big Blue Madness, he told the fans, if you want to see him for the first time, to come here. And then Visick didn't play at all. So,
Is he all the way cleared? Did that word actually come out? Is he 100% cleared, ready to play?
he hasn't gone through the clearinghouse just yet, but UK.
Exactly. I think
does
that's probably
not-
why they haven't played him.
I don't know what in the world it is. Somebody's because we're drilling
Rich is over there building
three-pointers.
a robot or something.
Because we're drilling 3-pointers. Is that why the drills come out? Okay.
Nah, I think it's listening to you all is like being at the dentist. And
Look, we got walk-ons that's running the floor and dishing it. Good job, Trey Mitchell, with the finish right there. And that's the one thing. That's the one thing about not having that full complement of those 7-footers is because we still do have Trey Mitchell there. And if Visick, he would get up to speed at some point. So we're going to have some low posts. And if we don't have those guys, we've shown, at least in Canada, that we can have somewhat of a small ball deal going on as well. So that'll be interesting.
My question is, I got a couple of questions for you. So is this your only this is your blue and white scrimmage? Who are your exhibitions against?
Our
Kentucky
exhibitions.
State. We got Kentucky State. We got hold on, let me pull up the schedule.
Well,
Any of them that are same as Louisville.
yeah, it's not on the schedule, but Kentucky State will more than likely
Georgetown
be one.
College, Kentucky State.
It's on your big blue schedule. Go to your college.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
It'll
Here it
be on-
is.
Yeah.
You
So
got
it's Georgetown College, Kentucky State, New Mexico, Texas A&M Commerce, which is I think like a smaller satellite college from Texas A&M. Then right into the Kansas game.
Okay, so Kansas, do y'all play Duke also this year too, or just Kansas and
No, but
Michigan
we do
State?
play. We play Miami in the ACC shootout or ACC challenge.
Sports 7 says the only way that you can watch the Louisville games is they're streaming them on their sites. Y'all don't have a TV deal.
We do play North Carolina.
We do.
Okay.
we we do. That's one of our sites for streaming. But no, we'll be on ESPN, bro.
All right.
You didn't make the CW. Like, what's
That's what I'm saying. They made an internet site. They didn't get CW.
Y'all talk
They're on
about
True
there
TV.
You go,
True
There
TV.
you go. Y'all try to make it seem like just because y'all are on what is it, the SEC network or whatever that y'all get
CBS.
man.
CBS.
man.
Yes.
CBS.
We would have won 5 games last year in playing in the SEC. So, but we didn't. We had to play in the ACC.
Oh, so y'all would have won one extra game. I get it.
I don't even know. You're being conservative. I think we could have won 2. I think we could have won 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, y'all could have won 2 or 3
We
games.
would have beat Vandy. I'll say that. We would've
We Vandy.
Hey, man.
We probably would have beaten.
Let me say this.
Missouri.
Let me say this about Vandy.
Would've won a
I
game
feel
in the tournament.
vindicated. I feel vindicated because for 2 seasons since Jerry Stackhouse has been at Vandy, I've said if Calipari left, I wouldn't mind having Jerry Stackhouse as the head coach because the dude runs some great offensive stuff. He really does. And a lot of people's like, because Vandy hasn't been very good. Well, we got to consider Vandy is hard to recruit to, and there's a lot of challenges that Vandy has that Kentucky don't have. But the reason why I feel vindicated is because in an interview, they asked Calipari about Jerry Stackhouse because his son is on the coaching staff. And he said, Jerry Stackhouse, their offense, the stuff that they run, is some of the best in the SEC. He even said it himself. I see it with my own eyes because the actions that's happening, I'm just like, oh my God, can our defense stay in front? Of course they do, but we always have issues with them. Their defense needs help, but a lot of defense is really, it's not just want to, but you have to have the ability, the athletic ability. And when you're just recruiting at the level that Vandy does, you just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So, but Jerry Stackhouse, yeah, he's a good coach. He's a good coach in my book.
You know what I'm most excited about with UK this
What's
year
that?
is we have shooters. We have people that can put the ball in the net.
Yeah.
Like DJ Wagner, of course Reeves. Reeves is top scorer coming back. He's gonna blaze it up all year. I can't wait to see what he does. But I think I'm looking to see like who's gonna be the people that play off of Reeves. And I want to see who's like that next person that's going to step up and be like that third or fourth option.
Yeah. Hey, because I'm really excited about these guards. Every single good Calipari team or great Calipari team has had, some really good guards. And this one, starting with DJ Wagner, the unexpected Reed Shepard, the way he's been so far and continues to be, he's just Mr. Steady. Robert Dillinger gaining his weight and become a little bit better. We'll see. I think Robert Dillinger is going to be the one that returns. I think Reed Shepard actually also returns too, but Robert Dillinger is the one that you go in thinking, okay, his might be one and done, but I think he returns. So, I mean, that group right there, I'm really excited because when we have that and we have rim protection, Calipari usually has a great year. He really does. Go ahead, Perry.
Y'all gonna win the title?
I never predict titles. Not in preseason. I never predict titles.
If we do, we won't get it stripped away. How about that?
I don't think we have strippers on the.
This is your time. This is your time. This is not about us. This is about y'all. Are you gonna win the title?
No one knows that. It's impossible.
No, I mean, nobody knows that. Well, I haven't seen the other teams. There's been a lot of movement as far as transfers going from one team to the next. How do they interact with the new team that they're with? Who rises, who falls? I don't know.
Not the UK way. Title above everything.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that, but
And don't care about nobody
listen though. You're talking to reasonable Kentucky fans too. Number one, number two. It's a different era.
Not psychos.
It's a different era. So this is going this is going to be a great year. As far as a title, I don't know about that. If I'll say this, if it's not an Elite Eight, it's probably going to be a disappointment in a lot of Kentucky fans' eyes.
All right, you heard it here.
I'll say that
Elite
much.
Eight.
Card
He said
Nation,
Elite
he
Eight.
said Elite Eight. He
Well,
now we've
a
been hearing
team
this
with good
every year.
guards, a
Every
team
year
with
we've
good
heard
guards is always going to be favored in the tournament. The tournament is always about guards.
Yeah.
It's always about guards, which is why Calipari has won as so much in the
This guy
tournament.
up here, y'all.
Why
This
he
guy
is
up
the
here.
most tournament.
This guy up
Why he
here.
is the coach who has won the most tournament games because
guy
his
up here.
teams are usually guard heavy.
So would you
Yeah.
say UK
Guards are
hasn't had good
favorable
guards
in the
past?
tournament.
You say they haven't had good guards in the past?
We've
They
had good
put a
guards in the
guard
past.
the first round of the NBA every year.
No, not
Yeah,
every
but
year.
we-
Not every
We've
year.
had good guards, but I
Every
mean
year,
we're guard heavy. We got some strong guards. I mean
The last time we had a really good
De'Aaron
guard.
Fox. I mean, come on.
The last time we had a really good guard was Emmanuel Quickly and Tyrese Maxey, and that team was
Maxey,
shaping up to do
yeah.
some major damage in the tournament, and then COVID happened. That was the last time.
Last year, y'all had a good guard.
Who?
Reeves.
Oh, we had
I had two good guards. One of them stayed and came.
we had Case and Wallace. We had Case and Wallace.
And Antonio Reeves, right?
Antonio Reed. Who else are you talking about?
Y'all had another guy too. Y'all put two of them in the draft, and then Reeves came back.
Yeah.
Reeves came
That's what
back.
I'm saying, Reeves.
No, you're talking about he wasn't a guard. You're talking about he's up there. He's from Chicago. See, that's the reason why PJ is supposed to be on the show.
Hey man.
Livingston.
Yeah, Livingston. He's not a guard. He wanted to be a guard. He wasn't a guard. He should have been a small four. He should have been a small ball
A
four.
flex, yeah.
But he didn't want to do it. And Calipari wanted him to play there. He didn't want to do it. And Calipari was wanting him back so he can be that small ball four. But it looks like that we got Justin Edwards that's going to play that role when we need it this year. Or Adu Thiero. Because Adu Thiero, if you look at the highlights, the dude is stronger and he's playing way different than he played last year.
But until our 7-footers get healthy, until Big Z gets up to speed, we are going to be light in the front court. We're going to be light. We're going to be light initially, but we'll come on strong by the time March gets around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to take some time to gel. Definitely going to take some time to gel. And then you continue adding plays.
Haven't been past the second weekend in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Well, I haven't won 5 games in a couple of years.
Wait a minute.
Y'all have not been under indictment in a couple of years.
I'll say it again. One man's 4-game season is another man's 9-win season. So
I've not had a sex scandal in a few years. So.
All right, man. All right. Well, guys, we are an hour and 50 minutes in. This is the longest Cats versus Cards that we ever had. But we had a lot of ground to cover. It wasn't a dull moment for us. It wasn't a dull moment. But we'd like to thank you guys. If you guys stay with us to the end, we appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, give you a shout out. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for the comments. Majority of you guys with the comments are coming from Facebook. And thank you for that as well. Like I said, next show, you'll see us at his new homes, and we'll tag you in the comments where we'll tag that in the comments where the new home is right there on Facebook. And on YouTube, go ahead and search for us, Cats versus Cards. It will come up. Our channel will come up. Go ahead and like it and share it. And be one of our subscribers. Be one of our subscribers. Help us grow this audience. If you're a Cats fan, if you're a Cards fan, which is pretty much all of Kentucky, help us grow this audience. We're going to bring some great content for you guys. We're going to have some former players on the show, some former players I've talked to, not just Kentucky players, but Louisville players as well. So we're going to have some players on the show. We're going to bring some insights, Guys, don't miss it. So make sure that you subscribe and that you're following us. Till next time, this is episode 8 of Cats versus Cards. So we're still new at it. You see the bloopers live. We're still new at it. Dietrich, thank you, sir. Up here, I'm sorry. Dietrich, thank you, sir. Perry, thank you, sir. Thank you down there, Richard, Mr. Authority. You guys have a good one, good week. See you next week. Peace.